So I recorded an entire 25-minute rant review and then accidentally deleted it. You people actually asked for this. I'm honestly flattered. I didn't think anyone would actually want to listen to me rant about anything. But here I am, ranting about comics. There are worse ways to spend a morning. Oh, it's already 1:20. There are worse ways to spend the day. Oh! My throat already hurts, so I don't know how long this video will go, but I'm sure I'll still have plenty to say. Between the years when the ocean drank Atlantis and the gleaming cities, and the years of the rise of the sons of Aereus, there was an age undreamed of, an age of barbarism and fierce warriors, an age of magic and treasure known as the Hyborian Age. Everything changed when Marvel Comics attacked. This is the Age of Conan. Marvel Comics proudly presents the maiden voyage of someone who is definitely not Bêlit, Queen of the Black Coast. I told you, my throat hurts from the first time recording this. The things I do for love. Okay. Last time I read this whole thing. I'm not going to this time because throat. But basically it sums up the first issue, but at the same time it retcons some things because it says that Bêlit did not know that her father was the Dread Admiral Pirate King. Yeah, you did. That was pages 3 and 4 of issue 1. Talking about how you don't become Dread Admiral by flogging your crew. And, you know, if you steal this dinghy, or if I send you off in this dinghy and we both say you took it, then that'll make you a pirate. And if you kill a sea monster and you prove it to me, I'll crown you Queen of the Pirates myself. Her whole life, Bêlit had never suspected her father, Atrahasis, was once a feared pirate king. I think I've actually read these issues more than the actual editor did. I think I've read the first one like 3 or 4 times now. Because I reread it last night to prepare for this. I reread it this morning. And I read it a couple weeks ago. And so part of why someone asked me to rip or burn the books, I'm not going to destroy them at all until after I finish the series, because I need to reread them so I can pick them apart and call them out on their idiocy, and so I can refresh my memory on the nonsense. So stick around, we'll see what happens in 5 videos. So issue 1 ended with... Issue 1 was all about Bêlit wants to fight sea monsters. I don't know why. It's never really explained. There's a page in this issue where she's on her ship, the Tigress, which she's kind of fighting. She's basically trying to commandeer it from another pirate. She's a prisoner, guest, annoyance, whatever. There's a scene where she's sitting in the captain's quarters on the Tigress, and she says, "This ship was my cradle. The ship is mine. Tomorrow is mine. The beasts are my destiny." if you had so the first page of issue 1 is this really poorly drawn establishing shot of Asgulin, which, if you saw my video, you'll remember is actually not right, because she's from Asgalon. Read Queen of the Black Coast, Tini Howard. So there's this really bland setup page that doesn't even really make sense. If they had instead had the first page of Bêlit climbing in the rigging of the Tigris, looking out at the sea, and just feeling the pull of it. I mean, if you look at, Disney's Moana, which is all about the sea calling to her, and you get the first 15 minutes or so are just her trying to resist the call of the sea. You don't need 15 minutes and 3 songs to establish that. But if you have her looking out at the coast and just the caption boxes, or whatever they're called, just her thinking, it calls me. My destiny isn't here on the land, it's out there. I want to go. And don't make her an insufferable brat. That was what bugged me most in this issue, was they even call her a brat at one point. And it's a character I don't like, because it's this, he's gay. He has to be. He's so beta. And there's a point where he even calls her a brat, and he almost hits her. And she has just such this insolent expression that I almost wish he had, just because she's so annoying. But if you had started the series with her looking out at the sea and just going, there's something out there and it's calling me, you could do that in one panel and then have her father coming up, and you don't need this whole scene with, yeah, we don't want to play with her because of monsters. She won't stop talking about the sea monsters. Oh my gosh, that vocal fry is killing my voice. I really wish I had a high, pretty, whispery voice. But no, I got this. So, she was, long of the short, her father was killed for being a pirate who killed a lot of people. It's Hyboria. People kill people. People attack each other. It's Hyboria. No. No, and you don't get anti-slavery pirates. There is no civil rights movement in Hyboria. No one in Hyboria is anti-slavery. They're a little too busy trying not to be enslaved. There's no call for women's rights. The women's are in the harems. And, oh my gosh. Even Conan keeps slaves. And he has his harem of girls. And when someone tries to take his throne, they take his girls. And I mean, Robert E. Howard was tasteful, but it was very clear those girls were brutalized. I don't remember who it was that took them while Conan was gone, but there's a line that it was shocking for them who had never known brutality. The whole issue is this push and pull with Bêlit and Captain I finally figured out how to pronounce it last time. Saturninus. That sounds fake, but okay. So there's this push and pull with Captain Saturninus, who she's like, the tigress is mine. It was my father's. Well, he did kind of take it in battle. And so, but she keeps trying to claim it, and she jumps aboard, and she orders people around and tells them what to do, and she steals the quartermaster's maps and messes with them to take them back to the monster so she can kill it. Okay! Also, let's establish now, that dress is hideous. And I think part of my problem with it is, and we'll get to it in a second, why this is important. Part of why I don't like that dress is because they're clearly going for a little goth girl, sullen siren look, as her father called her. But it's not black. It's dark gray. And I wear a lot of black clothes, so I know what happens when you wash a black shirt a couple hundred times, it turns gray, and the color fades. And so because her dress is dark gray, a few pages later, when she puts on all this jewelry after forcing her way into claiming the captain's cabin, she puts all this jewelry on top of what I keep seeing as a faded gray dress, and it just makes the dress look cheap. So here's the page where she talks about how the ship has known me since before I was born. This deck was my cradle. You beasts, my destiny. This ship, mine. Tomorrow, mine. Which, in that moment, she almost feels like Bêlit. I can see that coming from Bêlit, who is, I am queen by fire and storm, or fire and steel and slaughter. This deck was my cradle. You beasts, my destiny. This ship, mine. Tomorrow, mine. That is the only point in 2 issues where I have actually felt like I was reading Bêlit. They have this random panel here, which I presume is supposed to show what she'll look like when she comes into herself as a pirate queen. And when she meets Conan. And there's a little detail of her having a scar on her lip, which I actually really like, and which does make sense. But then they kind of ruin it by making a point of her putting coal on her eyes, which she has in the first picture, but it just reminds me that Tini Howard is sitting there going, pirates and goths are the same thing, right? So, I can't remember if I said it in the last video or if I've already said it here. Something I was reminded, or when I first tried to record this, in the last video I did, something I forgot when I was talking about the promotional interviews she did, is the fact that she said she's writing a character that she rolled in a D&D campaign. So, she straight up admits she's not writing Bêlit. She's writing an original character and trying to force her on Bêlit. The artist, whose name I will not try to pronounce because it's some Russian thing that I can't figure out how to make heads or tails of, does not understand visual storytelling. This whole thing, the panels don't make sense. And there's a point where she's fighting with Saturninus, and he's coming up out of the hold, and he has his hand resting on the hatch. And so his hand is here, the hatch is here. Bêlit slams the door, and so what should happen is she would bend his hand back. And a couple panels later, Priska even says, "How's your hand?" when talking to Saturninus. But the way the art happened, he goes from having his hand on the hatch to his whole arm, so it doesn't bend his hand back, it just hits his elbow. Okay. I could do better than this. Okay? I have not written in several years now, but I could do better than this. Robert E. Howard would be rolling in his grave if he could see this. Anyway, I will see you all on issue number 3. But I'm sure I'll have more to say. And I might do another video about this one when my throat doesn't hurt so much, because I'm sure I'll remember some things I forgot to say in this round. Thank you for watching. If you're interested, you can find more of me and my art on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me as Song W. Erickson. And if you're interested in my art, it is for sale on Redbubble and Society6, also Song W. Erickson. I may be opening a Ko-fi account if you want to donate to support my work. But anyway, until next time, have a great day.